Hello YouTube, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to a whole brand new project with me with the local woods at Woburn. So before I get started, let's just talk to you. Woburn is my local trails. This is where I grew up riding. This is where I got hooked on mountain biking, and it was this place that kind of launched my riding career, I guess, where I learnt my tricks, learnt how to build jumps, learnt how to ride jumps, and I'm back. And the reason this is extremely exciting is because the trails which are behind me, and I'm being careful here not to film everything we've done because there's actually a lot's happened, and the trails here haven't changed for about 6 years. So once upon a time, Woburn was littered with jumps. We had big lines, small lines, step downs, road gaps, a lot of jumps here, and about 6 to 7 years ago everything got bulldozed, which sucks because I came up here and the ground was flat. There wasn't a single jump. So then what happened was we had to start again. And at this point, only up the road from here, I had my compound where I'd built a big scaffolding drop, some proper big wooden kicker jumps. And that meant I could do tricks and train for contests. So Woburn wasn't about learning big tricks anymore. And what we decided to do was build a proper line of trails. And trails are flowy jumps, hips, berms, something that's like an adventure to ride through. And that's what we built. We got hips, a racer, a left hip, and then what you'll know is the fourth jump, a berm. I'm gonna play a GoPro shot now of what these jumps looked like just 2 weeks ago. So what you're looking at now is basically what we built 6 years ago, which was just smooth, flowy trails, but it's all looking a bit haggard, a bit overgrown, even though it still rides so good. And it's trails that trails is probably my favorite type of riding. It's what I grew up doing, and it's when I feel most just like fun on my bike. So the best part about this line is probably the drop, the first hip, and then this third jump, the left hip behind me, where you can get right up in that tree, which is cool. Then everything after that, over the years, we've always tried tweaks and changes. Like this fifth jump here, which we'll explain why it's blown up in a minute, has always been a bit weird, and the one after it doesn't work very well. So from the third jump there, we've decided to just completely change everything. So this is the new fourth. That jump was pretty much straight into a berm, and you can see the old berm back there, but look now, it's had a huge overhaul. We've got pretty much a 90-degree right hip. So you take off there, you have to turn completely sideways and land down there. So the landing's way more stepped up, way steeper. You're gonna carry so much speed. And instead of riding that berm over there, we've got the brand new shark fin. Check it out. To a landing. So you come off the, there's the line. Hip, racer, the third hip, 90-degree right hip. Hopefully we're gonna be like up there in the trees. Land, down here, round the shark fin, and into that landing. So already a lot's happened, and even more, which we'll go and look at in a minute, which is actually more ridiculous. But a lot of you will be thinking the line's going back up the hill, which isn't really the idea. Generally you build dirt jumps downhill, like downhill tracks, like enduro tracks. Everything seems to work better on bikes when you're going downhill. So we're going back uphill. But when you build jumps, you're always stuck with the ground. Like whatever the ground's doing, you have to work with that. And that's what's always happened at Woburn. We've always started in the same place. We've always finished in the same place down the bottom of the hill. And you kind of just draw a line to that and build jumps. Whereas Sam, who's digging behind me, he'll probably be angry that I'm not helping, but I've got to fill you guys in on what the progress is, has said, why don't we build the exact line that we could possibly build that's just the best it can be. And the only way to do that is to get the most out of the hill and go back up the hill. But we're actually, it's so hard to explain, we're not actually going uphill because we're digging the ground down to keep going downhill while going uphill. Imagine you've just got a digger. We haven't got a digger, we've got spades, and we want to weave back and forwards, and the only way to do that is to drop the ground level. So we've got the shark fin behind me, and then right after that, a lip that was built a few days ago, and a landing that was built in the last 2 days. So look, we're right next to the third. You've riding so many jumps but not using any of the hill. Take off, landing, and then this kind of hammers home how we're keeping going downhill, uphill, and that's by building enormous graves. So this is the landing which Sam finished off last night, and he's still going. He dug all night. No, he didn't. Sam's been.
McDonald's.
He's just going back and forth to McDonald's. But the bomb hole over there, which is part of the line, is up the hill. But even though we're riding back up the hill now, the ground level we're riding on is lower, and that's really important when you build dirt jumps. Every bomb hole, which is the bit between the lip and landing, has to get lower each time if you want to keep building speed and making the jumps bigger. So that's what we're doing. We're just digging the ground, dropping the ground level in order to make that work. So the new changes are, the hip's a 90-degree one. We've got a shark fin, which Woburn has never had, especially not that big. It's a beast. We've got this offset transfer jump. We've got a huge deep bomb hole. Then what's going here, Sam?
I guess it's called like a lily pad.
Lily pad.
I don't know.
Another thing that Woburn hasn't really had that either, ever.
The thing with this one, it's a bit of an optical illusion because it's already there.
True.
So
yeah, you can kind of see how we've scratched out. Look at the blue silver line beast. You can see where we've scratched out where this is going to go. So by digging the ground down here, we're going to build a takeoff in that wall. And then we'll be riding the ground there, but that's going to all be dug around so it actually looks like a jump, but right now it's just the ground.
Yeah, so this will be like the lily pad itself, from like there to there. So and then we'll slope that down, then there'll be a takeoff down there somewhere.
Yes. And then what's even more exciting is then we're going to do a 180 berm, well almost 180, and then we're going to go back down the hill. So even though we've got the same footprint of ground we've always had, the line's going to be effectively 3 times longer than it's ever been. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're probably going to have close to 15 jumps, and for the last 6 years we've had 5. So Woburn is going to be insane. It's going to be back on the map. It's a public bike park, so anyone can come and enjoy it, see what we've done, or come and help dig.
And there'll be a smaller line as well.
And there'll be a smaller line. So it's going to be like the dirt jump spot that it was always meant to be before it got bulldozed. So hopefully you're going to kind of bite into this, because it's like what I was doing at the pump track. We've got time lapses, which I'm going to start shortly, of all of this stuff up till now. And then I'm carrying on with the pump track. It's 90% done, and this is kind of being a bit of a distraction, but I'm going to head back to my compound and crack on with that as well as this.
And the dry weather just needs some moisture.
And it's been too dry, which is why we're just digging down for water and making wells. Yeah, enjoy the time lapses. I'm stoked to actually have some digging back on the channel. It's something I really enjoy, something we've always done together. And shout out to everyone else who's helped: Glenn, James, Finn, Dan, George, Crispy. Loads of people have helped. Who else?
Huh?
Loads of people.
Dan, Phil,
yeah, loads of people have helped, because people are passionate about Woburn. And it's sick. So enjoy the time lapses. I'll leave you to it, but this is going to be a new project, the Trails project, getting them back on the map. Peace. Enjoy. I'm just going to let them run. Let them run.